In Tooleemu, we've got some nice manufacturing capabilities and bill of materials. Now, these are designed either for companies that make to order or make to stock. They're not designed for super complicated manufacturing, but they are suitable for a vast majority of small businesses. And if this isn't doing precisely what you need, it's always possible for us to make some modifications using some of our custom fields or custom processes. Now, let me show you quickly how it works. So first of all, we have a product here, Bakehouse Fudge Brownie. So let's click in and have a look. It's ticked as I make this product. So that enables the bill of materials capability. So the bill of materials is basically the recipe, no pun intended, working with brownies. And if we click through, we can see this is our BOM, our bill of materials. So first of all, production steps, measure the ingredients, bake the brownies. You don't have to do this bit, but you can. Then we have our input products. This is, again, no pun intended, the recipe, so what goes in. And then the output product is what comes out. And so the idea is basically using this bill of materials, we're able to take some input items and then it's going to go and produce, in this case, 20 brownies. Now we can modify the recipe to our heart's content. We can go and we can update the product cost as well. And what we do when we want to go and make some brownies is we run a work order. So what we would do is we'd go into manufacturing, go into work orders, and hit the new work order button and choose our BOM. Now I'm going to say here we're going to run one cycle. I'll just leave that all be, and I'll hit the save button. Now we can specify dates and things like that. We'll just leave that be for the moment. But now you see here, we have an actual work order that we're planning to run. So here are the inputs. Now they're multiplied by the number of times that we're going to run the work order. So in this case, it's 1. So if we're running it, 5 times, it'd be 5 times the amount. And it's also just confirming for us here what's actually available in stock, which is pretty handy. Output product, let's give that a click. It's not batch tracked, so we don't have to think about any batch numbers or serial numbers, neither are any of the input products. And then if we take a look at our production steps, measure the ingredients, bake the brownies. And resources, in this case, we've said that it uses an oven. And so we need to select an oven from our group of ovens. And again, you don't necessarily have to do that part. So now if I hit the start button, it's going to reduce the quantity of all of the input stocks. And then once that's complete, we're going to go and finish the work order. And that's going to increase all of the stock levels of the output product, i.e. the brownies. So that's a very, very simple example of running a work order. But what we can also do, if I go into sales, I'll make an order. And I'll make an order for the Bugs Bunny Cafe. And we'll quickly scroll down here and we'll check the Bakehouse brownies. Now we can see here we've plenty in stock. So what I could do is I could go here and I could order, say, 250. That's going to put some on back order for me. And in fact, that's exactly what I'll do. The other option is I could make it custom and say, right, happy birthday. Then it would automatically go onto back order. So we'll save and close. And now we need to actually go and make some product to fulfill this order. So what I can do is from the sales order itself, I can hit the generate button and I can choose work order and click OK. It's going to ask me for which bill of materials to use. I'll hit the OK button. And now what we'll see is there's a work order generated, work order number 21. And so if we go back into manufacturing and look at work orders, we would now schedule our work order 21. And basically, when it's time, we would hit the start button. It's warning me I've not assigned the oven. So we'll go and we'll do that. And now let's try that again. Now we're good. And now I'll complete it. And what you see here is the cross-referenced sales order. So sales order 21 is cross-referenced. So we know that once this batch has been baked, it's to be allocated to sales order S121. And when we jump to sales order 121, we can now see that those 250 brownies have been committed. And so there's a way to go and either manufacture just to get things manufactured, just to bring your stock levels up, or alternatively manufacture to specific orders. And if you get multiple orders during the day, it is possible to go merge and consolidate those work orders into one. Another thing that we can do, we can go into stocks. And you can see here I have a button at the top there that says generate work order. So what I could actually do is I could go and I could find things that were, for example, we have nothing in stock. Just by doing a filter grid, okay, I've got everything in stock, so that's not going to work too well. But I'll pick something, for example, where the back order, say, is greater than 1. And then I could go and I could tick these items that I make. Tick, 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 tick. You can see here it's split up by office as well, so I can go and tick those two. I could generate a work order from here as well. And that's how we can replenish stock with our work orders also. So it's quite a simple thing to do. Now, our work orders also will support both serial tracking and batch tracking. So if I make a work order and the input components are batch or serial tracked, or the output products are batch or serial tracked, it will prompt us for the batch numbers as we make it. And so we can actually trace those batches and serials through multiple steps. So if you have, you take some flour, you make a sponge, you take the sponge, you make some iced sponge, you slice it, you dice it, you write happy birthday on it, you put it into cartons or whatever it may be. All the way through, you can go back and find anything that was made with that flour or that sponge. So it's quite a simple process. It's very similar to the process inside MYOB where the bill of materials is like an assembly. The differences are, I guess, in Toolemu that we can have multiple bills of materials that manufacture the same product. So, for example, it's possible to make a product with, say, a 20-kilo bag of something, but it's equally possible to make a product with a 5-kilo bag of the same stuff. You just use more of them and they're more expensive. And the other difference is that we have this concept of a work order, which is actually the instruction to go and produce the item itself or items. So one of our clients has a work order where they have a single input item, in this case it's a cow, and then the output items are a variety of different meat products that come from the processing, for want of a better word, of that cow. It's also useful if you're doing a small run. You're able to go and gather up multiple ingredients. You don't have to have a step to go and process from start to an interim product to another interim product to another interim product. You could, for example, say take all of these ingredients and produce these 3 types of cake as a multiple output product type work order. So that's another useful feature of the system.